everyone. I'm Kristen Bomas, and welcome to Speak Your Truth podcast, where we are on a conscious journey to enlightenment. We're welcoming Mulan and Hamlet today. I've been out of town for several days, and they seemed very happy to be with their mom. And so we have guests. But today we're going to talk about protests and what is protesting, and a little bit about the Kaepernick situation, because I do think that there's some really valuable stuff to be had there. What is protesting? Protesting is part of freedom. It is an opportunity for people with like-minded views to join together to fight for their voice and their beliefs to be heard, for what they're looking to have in their life be made into law at times, right? So we have many things that people have protested for over the years. We recently had a lot of jail workers go on strike. We've had teachers go on strike, and strikes are a form of protesting. It's an effort where people join together to have their voices, their mission, and their needs heard. So we've got a lot of controversy happening in social media right now over Colin Kaepernick and his kneeling at the flag. And I think that everybody's finally starting to understand what I've been saying for a long time, which is he was told to kneel by a decorated veteran who said, "We don't sit, we don't withdraw from the pledge, we kneel. We kneel in honor of our freedom." And so he did. And now we have this outrage. But why? Why is everybody deciding to burn their Nike stuff and cut their Nike stuff up instead of donating it to the millions of Americans who are in great need of clothing? It is gut-wrenching to see how hate inside these people who are going against this protest are displaying their anger. That's not protest. They're not fighting as a team for something they feel needs to change on their behalf. They are simply going against the needs of another. So the protest in this case has been a silent protest, and it's been a protest to bring recognition to our Black and brown people of America, and how they don't feel that the freedom and the justice that is spoken about in our pledge and in our national anthem really is addressing the needs of the Black and the brown and a lot of our immigrants. And so the kneeling, the silent protest, has been very powerful. We have been through decades, over a century now, well over a century now. What am I talking about? We're in the 2000s. So it's been over a century that we have really watched the Black and brown people be in subcultures to our culture that have been mistreated, devalued, oppressed, repressed. And that's not opinion. That part's all fact. You know, as a white woman, I know we were all raised to walk down the street, and if a Black man is approaching us, we have a very different reaction to that Black man approaching us than a white man approaching us. That's fact, that most Americans have that reaction. I don't want that reaction. So what have I done to change it? I've really invested in understanding the Black culture, our Black American culture. The very people that we ripped from their homeland and brought over as objects to serve us as slaves. I've taken the time to understand their history and to understand their pain, their trauma, and the trauma that goes through their lives as best I can. And I've listened to their leaders so that I can understand the passion, the love of life and freedom that they carry within them, that they are fighting for. And so this country gives them that right. And in the silent protest, they cause no harm. They don't destroy objects that other people could use. They quietly kneel to say, the flag and the anthem are not addressing a very large component of its people, and they are right. We imprison more black and brown people than we do white people. We find guilty more black people than we do white people. More black people are killed by police than white people. And of course, over the last few years, we've had a flurry of unnecessary murders of black people by white police officers and vigilantes. Protest. Protest is exactly what this is, and rightly so. It is a statement being made that it's time for all of us to unite in the name of freedom, unity, and love, to help lift all people to a balance of equality, to stand as one, to not support the erratic and the misfirings and the intentional firings that are killing these black people, brown people. It's time that we unite. And yes, there's an argument that some of this is all in the name of whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I think the only one I really listen to the most is that all of us are socialized to have this inbred prejudice at some level, whether it's teeny weeny or much more demonstratively hateful. We all were socialized with it for whatever reason. And so even as a cop, if you start to learn to build upon the fear of the fear of the fear, which I can understand, then these mishaps that take the lives of innocent people can occur. Okay, I get that. But it doesn't give an excuse to what's happening in this country at this time. Our black on black crime is higher than our white on white crime, but our white on black crime is exceptionally high. What are we doing? What are we doing to honor the freedom of all? What are we doing to bring equality back? So the protests today in particular are for pretty significant reason. And the one we're talking about in particular is Kaepernick today, because he's again back in the news. He just got another position in the NFL. Everybody's up in arms about it, and he quietly just wants to live his life. We have the right to freedom of speech. We have the right to equality. We have the right to live our dream. And so they protest. And so we protest with them. Not as silent, and maybe not ultra loud, but we let them know that we are behind them in a strength of unity, love, and harmony. Equality for all. It matters not if they're black, brown, white, or yellow. It is equality for all. I thank you very much for listening today. I hope each of you takes time to look in your own heart at the things that matter to you. And if this country went against that, would you be willing to protest, to fight for your freedom and your rights? And if the answer to that is a simple yes to a simple question, then start from that point of reference and see if you can't start to show compassion, understanding, and acceptance for what is before you. Thank you. May you all be on a conscious journey to enlightenment. I'm Kristen Bomas, and please know that I'm on Facebook every Monday and Thursday, where we go live at 12:45, and we are on this YouTube channel, so if you like what you see, please subscribe. We greatly appreciate your support and your watching today's podcast. I hope all of you have a wonderful day.